Hi, I'm Steve, and welcome to the podcast Stuff with Steve. And today I have Jessica Doebler here at the table. Yes, and we're going to talk about your new book.
Awesome.
Why don't you hold it up so the camera can see it just a little bit? And
there it is.
There we go. Great. All right. And hey, let's just start out. Where did you grow up? Tell us about you and your family, your 3 kids.
Sure. So I grew up in Portland area and Vancouver, Washington, right in there. My family's still up there. And I grew up in a really big family. I have 7 sisters and 1 brother. And my dad became a pastor when I was in high school. So I'm a PK. And yeah, I grew up in there, nothing crazy.
And you survived being a PK?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm alive.
All right, good.
And went off to college, met Josh, and just been in ministry with him. And then we have 3 kids, Jovi, Jace, and Jenna. And
what are their ages? Tell me their ages.
So Jovi is 8, Jace just turned 7, and Jenna is 5.
Okay.
So, and we homeschool, and yeah.
How long have you lived here in Oregon?
We've lived here for 5 years.
And where'd you live before that? Tell us a little bit about your
ministry. So we ministered at a church in Wilmington, Ohio for 7 years, and after that, Virginia for 2 years. And then we moved out here when Jenna was 6 weeks old.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
Okay, now you've written this book, and it's tell us what the book is about first.
Well, it's very simple. It's 100 devotionals that teach kids about God through Scripture and exploring nature.
Well, give me a little snippet of what maybe one of the chapters. I've read the book, but tell me, yeah.
So,
like one of the chapters, give me a description of the nature thing, and you're connecting it to God.
Okay. So one of the ones in there is I'm talking about the ocean, and sometimes I'll put in like a scientific fact, sometimes not, but it's based off of a scripture. And I just talk about how the ocean is huge, and we can't reach across something that large, but God can. And then there's a scripture that kind of applies to that. And then there's a prayer at the end, and then an activity of some kind that gets them looking closer at the ocean or something in it.
Okay, great. And is there a particular age group that this fits for? Like, what would be the range of the age group?
Yeah, so this is written for about 6 to 10-year-olds. Right in there.
Okay, so your husband Josh is perfect for him?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. He loves it. No.
Okay, and how did this all come about? Tell us that story, because I think it's fascinating.
Sure, like how the book came to be?
Yeah, how the book came to be, and because it wasn't your idea, and you were approached, and which is phenomenal.
Sure. So I guess you kind of think of, books in a, like the traditional, you send in a manuscript and that kind of stuff. And apparently it doesn't work like that very much anymore. So I found out.
I know that personally.
Yeah. So last year, about December, I was approached by Penguin Random House, and I got an email that was like, would you be interested in writing a kids Bible devotional? Mm-hmm. And at first I was, you get a lot of spam emails when you're blogging and stuff. I was like, this might not even be legit, so, but we looked into it, and it was, and so you have to kind of apply for it or put in a submit a submission,
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote like 800-word Bible devotional about Esther or something like that. And I got an email back, and they said, well, we liked it, but we decided not to go with you.
Oh my goodness, you got rejected.
I got rejected. Okay. So I was like, well,
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't meant to be. But later in the email, she said, but we would like you to try out for this other one. It's like a nature devotional and type thing. And she laid it out. And so I was like, why not? I'm already like into it. And this one was like, it only had to be like 350 words or something. So I wrote that one, and it was a few weeks later, they're like, we'd like you to write the book. So.
Okay, so you went from rejection,
yes,
like cold-hearted,
yep,
or at least it felt cold-hearted, right? Boom, no, we want you, we don't want you, but you could apply for this other thing, and yeah. So what were your emotions through that?
It was a little crazy, but I've always wanted to write a book. I've kind of dabbled in doing a few projects here and there, and then I always back off because it feels just really daunting, and doing it on my own. So I don't know. I just kind of felt like it was a gift from God. Like it was just nothing that came that I could have manufactured on my own. I just felt like He gave it to me, and then we just kept walking through it.
Okay, so as I recall, they approached you about this book. How did they know about you?
Through my blog.
Well, tell us about your blog.
So I have a blog. It's called Inspire the Mom, and I just started it when we moved here, and it was just kind of a mom musings. And then I started sharing some of the educational resources I was making for my kids, and I started selling them, and it just kind of grew, and I was adding to it every week. And so, yeah, it's gotten kind of big, and people have, found me through there.
How many subscribers do you have to your blog?
Like on my email list?
Sure.
Probably through there. I've cleaned it out a little bit, but probably about 13,000 somewhere in there.
Wow. Okay. And so, in theory, those 13,000 are reading your weekly blog. Is it weekly?
It's whenever I post.
Okay. It's kind of like this podcast. Whenever we get the podcast.
Yeah. It's my mom's schedule whenever I work it out. So.
Okay. So, was there something in your blog that something that you wrote that really attracted them? How did they connect you with this blog?
I actually asked the book agent. I was like, what did you read or see that was, that made you think that I would be a good fit? And she referred to a couple articles, one that I had written on fostering faith and family in our family, and I think connecting with your little ones or something like that. So she said she read through those and thought that, that was kind of the tone they wanted for the book. So, I guess.
Okay. I know the book has all this illustration to it. So did you do that?
I did not. Another lady did, and I have not met her. In fact, she just messaged me over Instagram this morning and had tagged me in that she had written the book. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get to connect with her a little bit and, say thank you for her beautiful work. So I'm really impressed with it.
Okay, so you got the book done. It's on Amazon. What do you hope people and parents particularly will come away with this book? What's your goal for parents?
Just that kids will build their relationship with Jesus. And it sounds really simple, but it's just like when you get to know somebody, when you get to know their name, they become something more to you. When you have a shared experience or a conversation, it's deepens a relationship. So my goal is just really simple. I just want to deepen their relationship with God and His creation. So, when they learn a name of a flower, or they learn how something in nature works, or they acknowledge some details in creation and connect it to Scripture, that they're building that relationship with God. So I just want them to be able to name more things and, make more connections with God.
Okay. So what advice would you have for parents when it comes to reading this devotional with their kids? Because obviously you've been doing this with your kids. So what would some of your advice be?
I guess just keep it simple and be consistent, just every day, just pouring into them and teaching them a little every day. It doesn't have to be some huge study or deep theology. It could just be taking a walk outside with your little ones and, look what God made. Isn't that really cool that He put that color there? And just tying God in with those little things, and those shape their worldview, that God created the world around them, and they can find awe in those things, and just foster that wonder I think that God put in them.
I was reading one of your a couple months ago. I saw one of the pre-versions of this, and I saw the one about the flowers where they turn to the sun. Is that? Do I have that right? So, and I was reading that and I thought, wow, how did you know that? So you did research on those tiny details, and then you connected it to God's majesty or the power of God or God's creativity. And so I just thought it was really well done that way.
Thank
and
you.
I could, even though my kids are 30 and 31, I think that's how old they are, that if I had little kids, I could really see that being a great devotional with kids to read through every day. So you have an activity with each devotional, is that right? Mm-hmm. So can you describe a couple of those activities?
Sure. There
examples of it?
Yeah, there's like activities that they can do, and then there's a preserve and protect or explore. So it's going to be one of those three at the end of the devotional. So an activity might be a craft or something that they make, or a nature journal, something that goes along with the devotion. A preserve and protect might be some kind of information about how they can, take care and steward the earth that God gave us. And then the last one is to explore. That's just to get them outside and really being hands-on. So the goal is to kind of get away from screens and get them outside.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. What kind of? I know the book's on Amazon right now,
yes.
correct? And how many days has it been out there?
3. I think today's the 3rd day.
Okay. So have you had any? It's probably too early to know, but any feedback from parents about the book?
Sure. Yeah, it's actually been on pre-order since early in November, and I've had some other people. So yeah, I've had some feedback, and it's been really positive. It's been mostly like family and friends at this point, so it's
not like your friends are going to come, oh, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's not like a ton of, I haven't had a lot of negativity at this point, but yeah.
What's been the most exciting part of this whole process to you? What have been some of the things that, man, this has really been a lot of joy for me in this process?
Yeah. I think just, it's a learning process, and I like learning. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but this was all new to me. I'm not like an English major. I don't even think I'm a really good writer, but I think that I enjoy learning. I enjoyed, people giving me their feedback and just learning the process. I've always kind of wondered, well, how do you put together a book, and who all is involved? And so yeah, I've learned that, and I think it's been fun. It was really fun to see the cover and the illustrator for. I didn't even know it was on Amazon, and the marketing lady was like, "Oh yeah, it's up on Amazon," and I got a look, and it was really fun to see her creative work and pull it all together. So yeah.
Okay. Big question.
Okay.
What's next?
What's next?
Yes.
I don't know. Ask God. I mean.
God, what's next for Jessica?
I know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you have any creative ideas you're thinking about?
I always have creative ideas.
I know you do.
I have a lot of them.
So
I just don't know which ones are, gonna happen.
Okay, pressing on. So is there one bubbling up to the top in your mind, and you're kind of thinking, "Oh, I'm thinking about this project," or
I don't know. I've always wanted to do like a children's book, like a picture book. So that's kind of on my bucket list, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Okay. When it comes to your book and it's out there now, so people just go to Amazon and they can find it. Just type in your name or God is in Nature.
Just type in God is in Nature and it should come up.
Okay. Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. I just
Thank
think
you.
this is phenomenal. And I think what I'd like people to know is it's highly unusual for a publisher to reach out to someone to ask them to write something, especially when they haven't written anything before. And I think that just speaks well of your talent. And so I'm proud of you, and I know all the people in the room here are proud of you.
Thank you.
And it's just amazing to see in the future what God would do through your creativity and your writing skills. Even though you think you're average, I can tell you you're above average.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes,
well, there's lots of editors, too, in this process.
I know how that works. So, but it's all good. And I just think that books like this can really help families. It's just another tool for a parent who is, I think sometimes parents get nervous or afraid to talk about Jesus with their kids, or they don't know how, or they don't know where to start. And I think this is the kind of tool that helps a parent get started.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we'll see that as well.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Okay. All right. Well, Jessica, thank you for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
All right. And if you want to find your book, it's on Amazon. And would you sign copies for people?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That'd be fun, right? Excellent. And grace and peace be with all of you. And thanks for watching the podcast today.